seminar. My name is Rosana from Party Posies Floral and Special Events, where we plan, coordinate, and execute your events. I'm also the creator of Plan Your Wedding in 10 Days. And people say, wow, that is such a short time. Well, it all started 15 years ago when I got married. I planned my wedding in 2 hours. But it took me 10 years to actually write the book because I didn't know what I did right. And then after doing these seminars and realizing what it was that I did right, I was able to capture it into this simple book. And in 3 easy steps, you can get your foundation on how to plan your wedding. Easily, fun, and on budget. So we started off originally as a catering company, and we then bought 5 years later a floral company that we did flowers for weddings and special events. And as we were doing our catering and also our florals, brides began to ask us, please, you're already here coordinating my wedding. And I didn't want to do that because it wasn't our profession at the time. I was like, no. But we saw the disasters that were happening, like the wrong cakes being delivered, the wrong gobo initials for the dance floor, the aunt sitting on another table that was supposed to be sitting on the table with the family. And we just could not believe that these errors were going on and no one was correcting. So we went ahead and got certified, and we started coordinating weddings. So it still took me 10 years to actually figure out what it was that I had, that I was able to plan my wedding in 2 hours, and that my brides were taking 6 to 9 months to achieve. And then it all came together. So I figured out that there was one component that was different between you and I, and that I was pretty much in the family of the wedding industry. I knew exactly who I wanted, I knew exactly who was at my budget, and I knew exactly the vendor that would suit my vision. So it was easy to make the call and say, hey, are you available April 26th? And they say, why, do you have a bride for me? And I said, no, it's me. And they said, oh my God, I'd love to do your wedding. And 6 calls later, all my vendors were selected. So what was it that made everything so easy? And this is what it was. There's 3 components of you planning your wedding. These 3 components are crucial to easy flowing. Many people reinvent the wheels after time while planning your wedding. And today, with the internet being so available to us, you are saturated with so much information that it's beyond what you can comprehend. There's books out there, there's planning books that are pages and pages long, and you will never have all the information you need. But here's one thing that I want you to remember at all times. It is your wedding, and it's personalized to your taste. So any book that's around does not need to be followed per se, okay? 3 components. The first rule is know your budget. Know your budget. Now here's the problem where people find that you say, honey, I have this much money, and then he says, and I have this, and mom and dad are giving us this, and then you guys say, this is the budget. But is it really a budget that will be conducive to your wedding? So number 2, clue number 2, okay, goes hand in hand, and I'll come back to the budget. The vision or style of the wedding. Is it conducive to your budget? Now the biggest problem here today is that you don't know what things cost. And long are the days that DJs were $600 to $800. They're like for a house event or a club setting type of DJ. They're no longer that price range. An average price range in our area starts at $1,500 and goes all the way to $6,000. They have all these bells and whistles, from lighting everywhere to draping to gobos, bubble machines. They have so much to offer you now. But is that your wedding? So you now know that you have a lot of choices, but what is your right vendor? So today at a bridal expo, it is perfect for you to find out exactly what are you looking at in your budget. So I want you to go around and start collecting everything that you see that is pertinent to your wedding. So if the bobblehead little figurines are not a part of the wedding, don't pick that up. You're just adding more clutter to your bag. Because your homework tonight is to go and to pick up all the pages, throw everything on the table, select, oh, I love this photographer, oh, these flowers were amazing, this location is where I want to have it, and you start putting all your vendors down, and when you pull it all together, your vendor cost for all your wedding will average anywhere between $36,000 to $65,000. Now, that is coast to coast, 25 to 28,000 is an average wedding. Average. Now, is there fair share weddings that are 10,000 and below? Yes, there is. Is there fair share weddings that you really can hold the bar? Yes, it is. But it has to go also with your style. Okay, so now you know that this is really the wedding that I dreamed of, that you have found all your vendors. How can we get this vendor or this budget to match the budget that you have? And now you become realistic. Now you really want to say, like, do I really need those $200 shoes? Right? Do I really need to have that veil that's going to be more than I expected? You really start to select where your money's going to go. Ladies, when I hear this, it makes me cringe. I always have brides that come to me and say, I want to have a simple wedding. Oh my God, so simple that I'm going to go with a flowing dress and I'm going to be barefooted and I'm going to go out on the beach and get married. And the minute I hear beach, body of water, mountainside, skyscraper, anything with a view, ka-ching, 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 it's not that simple. Or you say like, oh, I want to get married in my parents' backyard. I grew up there. That's where I dreamed of all my life. And then I said, well, where's your parents' wedding? Where's your parents' house? And they say, Palos Verdes, and I want a glass tent with china and a chandelier. Is that really simple? So you have to start really looking at where are your dollars going to go, and is it fitting your style or vision of the wedding? So they have to go hand in hand. So once you discover exactly where you want to be with that, you can now start narrowing your choices of where really, realistically, your budget and your style is going to be. All right, now, I said there's 3 components. Now, one of my critical points is that I hold tight is hire professionals. Hire professionals. No, my aunt does chair covers and I want her to do the chair covers for my 300 guests. Hire professionals that have done the job. Oh no, my aunt, she's done my wedding cake since I was 5 years old. She's got to do, I'm telling you. The DJ, we were buddies in college. She's got all the music on the computer. It doesn't matter if he's coming from Canada. Believe me. All these have been disaster weddings, okay? Hire professionals. I do bend the rule on one thing only. When you are planning your wedding, you're gonna take anywhere from 6 to 9 months to plan your wedding. It's gonna take numerous hours. And you're gonna talk about your wedding ad nauseum to your family and friends. They're gonna be so tired of hearing the wedding. They're just gonna want you to have this wedding. And you've painfully, taken the time to find out exactly the cake you want and the flowers you want and all that. You're like putting a full play together. You're having all the characters in place. But on the day of the grand opening of your play, who are the brides and grooms of your wedding? Who are they? Say it out there. The bride and groom. The bride and groom are the stars of the show. Now, if you were producing your show for 6 to 9 months, who is going to take over that day? Who is going to be taking over that day that can pull your vision all the way to the end? To the last guest leaving. hire a wedding coordinator. A wedding coordinator is one that brides and grooms say, if budget permits, I want to do it myself. I want my mom to plan it with me. Oh, I have my maid of honors and my girls that are going to be doing everything. Really? Are they? Because once you walk down that aisle and you're out of that church or that reception ceremony area, what's the first thing and the thing that people think the most? What is it? What do they think about? They walk down the aisle, that's it, it's over. Party time, right? It's the party. The party, that's where we run and go. Where's the bar? Where is everything? You lose that attention. You do lose that attention. Now, like I said, it's the one rule that I will bend. And if you had a co-worker that was on the C list, of the guest list, or a cousin that wasn't being invited and you want her to take on your notebook and go on and go ahead and complete the wedding, I'd rather you have someone than no one. So you have someone to deliver everything. A coordinator makes sure that not only are you on budget, but that you save money while you're at it. See, any coordinator also has a team of people behind them that they know exactly what the budget is and how, and if the style of service is conducive to your wedding. So, hands back to 10 years ago, I knew exactly what I wanted because I knew who they were. You know exactly, they know exactly the person to recommend for you. And they have a selection of vendors to choose from to say, like, this vendor is perfect for your style of wedding and it's on your budget. So they save you money. So wedding coordinating is one of the things that does get overlooked, and for me, is one of the most important things because they will guide you through the rest of the day. And really, you have earned this wedding. Your parents have really thought things through for you all the way to your wedding day. Do you want them to enjoy their wedding or do you want them to help in the wedding, right? All right, well, those are my 3 points. Any questions? Any questions? Questions, yes. So the question is, what is the range of a coordinator? Okay, that's a great question. So first, let me answer this first. There's various different types of coordinators, and I want to make sure that you pinpoint the right one for you. Okay? There's the coordinators that are at the church that are actually work for the church. And I love working with them because they know the ins and outs of the church. But really, their responsibility is to make sure that they open the doors and that the church doesn't burn down. Really, that's it. They will walk you down because the Father is already over there, that you need to go. But it's not the type of coordinator that will be with you on saying, do you need anything? How's your stomach? Are you doing good? Did you eat? I mean, having someone literally cater to you until you walk down that aisle. Because girls, there are nerves, a lot of them. And as much as you plan everything around you, the wedding day is not rehearsed, right? All right, that's that kind. There's also another coordinator, and people consider them coordinators, or they think that they're coordinators, but they're really not. And that's really the sales team that's in usually a restaurant or a hotel, and it's called a sales coordinator. Their responsibilities is to book the location, create your menu, and pass it over to the banquet captain and execute the actual wedding itself. But they're not there, and they'll tell you too, I'm not a wedding coordinator. I will take you all the way till you walk into your the double doors in your banquet room, and that's when I clock out. And it's true. They're not there for you to do the rest of the stuff. The other thing is you have people that say they're coordinators, but they're really not coordinating. Like DJs often say, and we coordinate your wedding. Yeah, well, they don't coordinate your wedding, they keep your timeline, and they should, because that's their job. Their job is to make sure your guests are entertained and things are on time. But when someone needs the best man to do the toast or the father of the bride, where is he for that father of the bride dance? Where are they? They're not gonna go away from the booth to go find them. The coordinator is an outside vendor who is making sure that everyone's in place at all times, right? So all those coordinators is not what I'm talking to. So it's a great question. The coordinator we're talking about is someone that's going to facilitate you on planning with you, if you should like, on your wedding. Give you suggestions on what is in, what is out, what works well, what is practical for a wedding regarding your outfit, what works at a reception. They're there to make sure that you are on time and cued, and all the favorite pictures that your photographer is going to take, that they know that they're there. That the songs that are going to be played on your wedding day are the right songs. They are also the ones that are going to put your personal effects out there, so your wedding would be personal to you and your guests. And the biggest thing is to make sure that the money that is being spent well, such as having the right vendors. And the last thing is that taking care of your personal wedding gifts, as well as your envelopes that come to you, that they're safely put in the car or up in the hotel room, so that you cannot worry of where all that is. And that is the coordinators that we're talking about. Coordinators are three packages that you can choose from in most locations. You have the ceremony, so meaning that they have someone already at the reception, but no one at the reception, so they do the ceremony, they walk you down the aisle and do the processional. Then you also have the one that is at the reception itself. They all, like you're getting married in a church, but you need someone at the reception, or you can have someone that does the whole thing. So that, let me give you pricing on that. The ceremonies go anywhere between $300 to $500, and you guys do your research. Some coordinators are a little bit higher and some are a little bit lower. What tells the experience, what tells the price of a coordinator is the experience and the insurance they have behind them. And the one that goes only the reception or the whole packet. So reception usually starts at $1,200 and goes to $2,000. And if you do a full packet, it starts at $2,500, goes all the way to $3,000, pending the amount of guests, the number of people in the wedding party, and logistics of the wedding. Is it all in one venue? Is it in two different locations? Is it two locations and you're going to be taking pictures at another location? All those taking effect. Okay? So those are the pricing for that. Answer the question? Yes? Question?
Do you have any advice for a bride who is making her own flower arrangement?
The question is, do I have advice on a bride making their own flowers for their wedding? Yes, so my advice is that don't do it, girl. It ain't worth it. I know, I'm in the industry, and everyone thinks it's so fun to do. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. We'll go to the wedding with the flower market and we'll grab everything. You are gonna be you are gonna be working with so much stuff that day that the flowers are the least important thing on that wedding day, and it's the most important for the pictures. Often people say like they don't want to spend money for the flowers, but what's on everything? The flowers. I do want to say a couple things. Can you reduce your cost of your flowers? Yes, you can. And that's by, believe it or not, buying way in advance silks that will actually be more expensive. But you want to buy it a little bit at a time is not as expensive. Okay, and then you make them all, and then you hire a really good coordinator that will put it together or set them on the table. Because the next thing is, oh, we'll make it silk, and then my friends will put them out before guests arrive. Not appropriate either. You hire someone else to do the extra work. And really, do you really want to have silk flowers for your personal flowers? It is the flowers that are with you for the entire picture taking. So there's ways to save dollars, and talk to your florist, and they will let you know how to save cost in your flowers. There's many ways to do so. In fact, our company, Party Posies, has an array of rental items. We have lanterns, candles, cylinders. You see some in our booth right now that average less than $20. And so rentals with your florist are another way to go. Good question. Last question, yes.
Any tips in finding a coordinator abroad?
Yes, okay, so I got a lot of questions today of finding a wedding coordinator abroad. So twofold on that. When you hire a wedding coordinator abroad, you don't know what you're getting, but you need them. So definitely go with the facility that they work with and interview at least 3 over the phone. But that's not where your strength is gonna lie. Your strength is gonna lie by hiring a coordinator here in the States and taking her with you because she is representing your family and what you expect here to over there. See, they have different customs and cultures. So when they think something is appropriate, it may not be appropriate for you and your family. So having a coordinator that's here will be able to communicate with that coordinator because it's always needed to especially with the language and all that, to be able to communicate that way, but they represent your family. I've had experience in which the gift table, it's in the other side of the hall. Yeah, but they're signing in here, and that's where their place card is. Oh yeah, but the gifts is on the other side of the hall for protection. Okay, but the inconvenience of having the guests take the thing over there, the guest book doesn't get signed, they lose their place cards, it's a mess. So then having someone that's in front representing you and your family is what's advised. And when it comes to that, there is a ticket item with that. Not only the coordinating cost, but also room and lodging has to be a part of that as well. But believe me, totally worth it. Totally worth it. All right, guys. Has this been helpful? Yes. Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much. We are committed that you have a couple specials. So let me give you the specials, okay? For going with party posies. And you go ahead.